Hi, this is Harvey Bravman. I'm the host of Brookline Hub In-Depth, and very excited to have Michelle McGlone, who is the director of Brookline Adult and Community Education. Thanks for coming on board, Michelle.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
I just got off the website for the adult and community education, and it mentioned that um, adult education in Brookline, and Brookline is one of the oldest or the first communities to have adult education. Did you know anything about that? Or
Yes, yeah. So we have a very proud history here. Our acronym is BA&CE, standing for Brookline Adult and Community Education. And we are one of, if not the oldest, non-credit public education programs in Massachusetts. Adult education has been a part of the Brookline community since, we believe, 1832. And that was the start of the Brookline Lyceum Society. And according to a survey that we did a few years ago, we do believe that we're still one of the largest programs in the state to offer the kind of courses that we do and the number of people that we have enrolling and things like that. So it's a proud tradition that Brookline has a feather in its cap, and we hope to continue that.
I'm sure there are people take courses for lots of different reasons. I can think of one. My wife has been suggesting that before the pandemic, my wife suggested many times that we take a course together on either cooking or ceramics or something like that, as a way of spending more time together. For the last 18 months, all we've done is spend time together since the pandemic started. Yeah. So that's not as much of an emergent, a reason at this moment. But tell us a little about what the school has to offer.
Yeah, so I appreciate that you and your wife have taken some of our classes. I hope that you find them to be enriching and helpful. People like yourself take our classes. They know that learning doesn't end when you graduate. From high school, from college. If you're retired, it doesn't matter. Learning should be a lifelong endeavor, and that's something that we hope to provide to the public here in Brookline. And we also offer our classes to the Metro Boston area. So it's not just people in Brookline, although that's our major, emphasis is to help the people who live in the community. We are a department within Brookline Public Schools. People often think we're a separate entity, but we're not. We are part of the public school system. And we find that a lot of people who take our classes seek personal and professional growth, entertainment as well, because there's some things in there that are a lot of fun. But, looking for some camaraderie and looking to learn some new skills. I think with COVID coming hopefully to well, it's not at a close yet, but let's just hope that's happening soon. People are really craving to be around other people. We've been so isolated for so long, and we really are yearning for that sense of community and that common purpose. And taking these classes really helps reignite that, and getting to know other people and learning new things. It's all good.
I didn't realize until I saw your email address that you were part of the Brookline public school system.
Yes.
And does that add, or should that add a certain amount of credibility to the courses?
I think it should. I hope that it does. Not only do we report to the administration, so we report directly to the superintendent and to the deputy superintendent for the Office of Teaching and Learning, but we also have an advisory board made up of members in the community who help provide us with some guidance on what they feel the community is in need of to make sure that we're on the right track. So we have a little bit of oversight from people in the community, as well as the superintendent and the school committee, who are our ultimate bosses in this.
Is there a cost to take a course?
Yes, so the courses, we look to just break even. We're not looking to make a great deal of money. What we hope to do is just cover our overhead costs. So the cost of the instructor, any materials, any fees or things that we have to pay, to run these courses. Those are the things that we're trying to do. And a lot of the classes that we offer, believe it or not, people in the community have reached out to us and say, hey, I have a specialty in this area. I would love to teach a course. What do you think? And then we interview them. We check references. We do the background checks, all that fun stuff, and then come up with a course description and try to fit it into our catalog. We have a catalog that runs 4 seasons. Plus, we also have our smart vacation programs, which are for children during the school breaks. So in December, February, April, and then over the summer vacation, we offer programming for children. So we have a split focus between adults and kids.
I bet that there are a lot of parents with young kids who would could take the course while their children take the courses at the same time. It could be a education slash daycare while they try to get into
Yeah,
learning.
yeah, a family event. Yeah.
Um, how do so you sort of explain how teachers come to you, and I bet you that I can see from looking at that list that you could have teachers that started off as students
Mhm.
where
We have.
they took a course and then they said, I'd like to be the teacher for one of these.
Yes. Yeah, we have a few people that has happened to, where they just grew a passion and became an expert in an area with many years and much practice. And then we give them the opportunity. We get feedback from people who enroll in the classes so that we can make sure that we are offering a high quality service or product to our customers. And the feedback we've gotten has been very good.
Some of the folks will be watching this will be watching it on YouTube, and some of them will be watching it on Brookline Interactive Group's cable access. And I know there are a lot of seniors that watch cable access television, and this
Yes.
must be a great way for them to sort of integrate with the rest of the community, especially if they're living in a senior citizen facility where it's either family members or people that work at the facility or other senior citizens, but
Mhm.
to go to a place where there are people of all ages that they can interact with while learning and teaching.
Yes. Yeah, we love our seniors for sure. And we have a partnership with the Brookline Senior Center as well. They've allowed us to run some courses at the senior center, which is very convenient for the seniors. And they have a bus van for transportation. And then it's also accessible if anyone's disabled. It's easy to get in and out of that location. So we've offered really some fun classes like memoir writing. We've offered computer classes if people just need a little extra help in learning how to use their iPhone or their computer. One of our most popular classes at the senior center is a senior boot camp. And I've been over to observe it, and boy, they work really hard. And their teachers takes it very seriously when you say boot camp. It really is a boot camp. But
What
they
do they do in the boot camp?
oh, they are doing core balance, muscle toning, you name it. Anything that's gonna help keep them physically fit. So while they may not be doing strenuous exercises, they're doing more gentle exercises but targeted so that they're going to see the results that they need. And it's taught by some professionals who have a background in physical therapy. So
Wow.
they know, yeah, just exactly how far to push the seniors. They monitor to make sure that they're not having any physical difficulties, so that it's not too hard, but not too easy. So it takes a lot of skill to teach some of those classes. But it's a very, one of our most popular classes is that senior boot camp.
Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, what are some of the other popular courses, and over the course of time, has that sort of evolved and changed where, 10 years ago, most people that were going for adult education would go for a particular reason, and
Mhm.
has that changed where it's different now?
It certainly has. Some of our most long-term successful classes have been things like pottery or woodworking, or things that people would have difficulty accessing if we didn't have those classrooms, with the capability and the machinery to do those things. So those are pretty steady over the years. Some of the things that are a little bit more, come into light, and then it depends on, the demand for them. So right now there's a great demand for a lot of classes around anti-racism, understanding critical race theory. We've partnered with an organization called White People Challenging Racism. They offer some really great workshops through our program to try to give a venue for people to talk about some difficult conversations about things that they're experiencing or seeing, and people who really want to try to help and make a difference in turning things around in their community. So some of those, we see changes. We're offering this fall for the first time. I think it's going to be a wonderful program. It's called EVs for the EV curious, and EV stands for electric vehicles. So there's a lot of people in the community who know what an electric vehicle is, but they don't really understand, well, how do I charge it? Where do I go to charge it? Is it more expensive? Do I really save money? These are some of the questions that they have. And we were very fortunate that a member of the community in Brookline approached us and said, I have the expertise in this area and I have a lot of contacts. I'd like to put together a panel where we can run 2 sessions and talk about these things and answer people's questions. So we're going to be running those in November. There'll be 2 sessions in November. I think it'll be great.
I think it would be really fantastic. I
Yeah.
have one of my doctors, when you're my age, you have several. But one of my doctors is, I had to go see the first electric car movie and test drove a Tesla before you could buy one.
Yes.
And he had to wait like a couple of years from the time he put his first deposit down. But that is, and I've asked several of those questions. How do I turn my garage into an electric charging station? And
Yeah.
I've heard people say that they actually get money back from the electric company for charging their car, and I don't know what that means. And
Yeah.
there must be a lot of requests for people who just, I have an iPhone and a super duper, you know, 27-inch brand new Mac that I'm calling Apple like every other day to how do I do this? How do I undo this is
Yes.
probably the most common. And why is this totally different than the last one I bought like 12 years ago?
It's so true. I think Apple just today came out with their iPhone 13. They just released it. I saw that in the news this morning. So it's always changing, which provides an opportunity for us to run some classes to help people. One of the computer classes we're running this year is on um, Google Drive and Google Documents. That's a new thing. The kids in schools very familiar with it. Adults still kind of learning how it all works, to have your documents based in a cloud, not even on your computer any longer, and how to access them and share them, and so many changes. Yeah.
Are there classes that, you know, for lack of a better word, serious students, in other words, maybe something that I know it's a non-accredited school, but that, you would definitely need this certain class to advance in a particular position or something like that, or
Mhm.
help you with your job
Yes.
prospects.
We do offer classes that, I've talked a little bit about pottery and things like that, but we do offer more business related classes as well, how to start a small business, um, some accounting. We offer classes in finance, understanding what risk is, how to invest, real estate, business related things as well, to try to give people skills. One of the classes we offered last year was one in Salesforce, because the feedback we got was there's a lot of jobs for people out there who have those skills. So we could offer the classes to help give people an edge, getting those different types of positions. This summer it was a great deal of fun, and I'm so proud of the kids that did this. The Brookline robotics team from the Brookline High School, it just so happens that they're all females right now. It's open to everybody, but right now the team is made up of females, and they approached Brookline Adult Ed in the spring and said, "Could we please teach a class in robotics to younger children over the summer?" And we ran a 4-week robotics class, and we had over 70 children, I believe, that signed up for those classes. And you would not believe the robots that they built in that period of time.
Wow.
They were able to create tasks, they were able to do things, they were able to compete. And I recently heard from the advisor that a lot of the parents of the children who took that class now want to start up their own robotics team in their different schools in Brookline, which I think, again, looking into the future and where jobs are going to be, engineering, robotics is huge. So, some of the classes we offer hopefully will put people on a good trajectory to have betterment of their own lives.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. I would think
Yeah.
anything that has to do with financial well-being, you know, from how do I figure out how to pay for my child's college education when the time comes? How do I
Mhm.
buy a house? How do I know when to retire? How do I know when it's time to get Social Security benefits? I at my age, I watch a lot of those type of videos. Um,
Yeah.
what do you do? And there's not a lot of, and sometimes just going directly to a professional, you may not even be at the point where you want to go to a professional. You feel like you need to get some level of education before you even talk to someone that you might need to pay to help you, so that you could at least understand their language.
Yes, I would agree with that. And I think a lot of the classes that we offer give people the opportunity to do that. And like you said, there's so much to know as you go through these different milestones in life, that you'll be more empowered with information and understanding the right questions to ask as you make those decisions. So, we're proud to be able to offer those classes to people as well. Some of them are meeting in person, others are meeting online. We've heard from the community that they still want to have online courses as an option, especially if there's anybody who has any, health issues, and it's just a convenience factor or safety factor in not being out and about during COVID right now. So we're trying to balance our in-person and our online sessions as well.
Speaking of online and in person, um, we just came off where, in hopefully in the process of winding down from a year and a half of what the heck just happened.
Mm.
And what tell me about the audience a little about the challenges that I'm sure Brookline adult and community education faced since the start of the pandemic. What was it like when you first heard you needed to shut down classes? And then what challenges faced you after that?
Well, like many organizations, it was a huge challenge. We, as a staff, I'm very lucky to have such talented and hardworking, dedicated people. And we came together and said, this is going to have a huge impact on our revenues if we have to refund and cancel all of our classes. So we very quickly shifted and reached out to the IT department for the school district and for the town and said, could we please piggyback off of the Zoom accounts that the school district has and offer those accounts to our instructors so that we can salvage some of the classes and offer them online. So the challenge was there was a real learning curve in getting those set up, in training the teachers how to do it, in helping people who have never used a webinar or a Zoom session or all the different things that they call it. So there was that learning curve, some technical difficulties here and there with bandwidth and people losing their connection in the middle. And so, but in the end, it's amazing how quickly even our seniors learned how to do the webinars, how to do the Zoom sessions. And oftentimes they had people in their family. So they might have had a son or a daughter who was coming over to visit, and they would get them set up, and make sure it was running right. And then from that point on, they kind of got the hang of it and were able to, rejoin. So I think, in that way, it was great because it brought people together. And now families who can't be together, if maybe somebody lives in California or even around the world, you'll understand how to use Skype or these, online capabilities to connect. So that's been great. But the virus itself, it took a huge toll on us. We lost a significant amount of revenue, and unfortunately have had to reduce our staff. We've had to let a couple people go, and we've had to reduce hours to part-time. So we're doing our very, very, very best to maintain the same level of service and the same number of classes that we had in the past with fewer people and fewer hours to do it. We've reached out and people have been Brookline is a generous place. People have been really wonderful. People have donated to the program. There is a link on not only the town website, but also the school district's website where you can provide a donation just using your credit card. It's very simple, straightforward. You fill out a couple of screens, hit submit, and those are super helpful. People in the community have helped us. For example, like Chobe Hoy, the Chobe Hoy group has sponsored a number of advertisements for us in the Brookline tab. So we've been able to run full page ads to tell people, hey, our classes are running, now it's time to enroll. So we're very, very appreciative of community businesses like hers that have stepped forward to help us out. And everybody's feeling the pinch. I know, there's a lot of people that this virus, unfortunately, it's actually put some people out of business. We've been able to hang on, but just by a thread. So the more people that enroll and take our classes, the more we'll be able to continue to offering them in the future. So we really want to get the word out there and appreciate your help in helping us to do that. So let people know we are offering classes. Come to our website, request a catalog. We will email you a PDF version. So we're trying to cut down on our paper costs as well and mailings, and go from there.
Chobe Hoy is a close friend and a mentor of mine. And if Chobe tells you to do something, do it. And I can tell you right now, Chobe says, donate to Brookline Adult and Community Education. It's so wonderful to have you on, and tell me a little about, September is to go back to school month. what's, tell me about the future. Tell me about what you're going to do as we come out of this to get back on that stable footing that you once were on.
Yes, so our classes are rolling out starting next week, and they have different staggering dates, so they don't all start on the same day like a school would. So we have some classes beginning next week and others beginning the following, and so on. But they run through our fall term, which goes through the end of or middle of December, I believe, this year. So we start next week and we run through the middle of December. We're getting ready to plan for our winter session. So if there are classes that people really want to take and they don't see them offered, let us know. If we can get enough people together to take the class, we'll find an instructor to do it. If people, have even some fun and creative things, like we've had a request for a 50th birthday party and saying, we want to do something special at this party. Do you have a cooking instructor? And we can guarantee a certain number of people, and we'll pay you to run teach us a class on cooking something, for that particular date and time. So we can be creative and help in that way. We hope to be able to offer in person. We're planning as if we're going to be able to continue doing in person, but I think we're still going to offer some online options as well, because we just don't know the trajectory of all these variants that we hear about in the news, the Delta variant and all that. The school committee did vote very recently that all instructors in Brookline Public Schools, that includes our instructors, have to have proof of vaccination. So all of our instructors will be vaccinated if they haven't already. And then for people taking our classes for in-person, we are mandated to wear masks and to try to social distance as possible. We just want to act on an abundance of caution to keep everybody safe and healthy and enjoying and getting back to normal as quickly as we possibly can.
If tell us if you want to take a class or teach a class and you're watching this, what do you do?
Yeah, so I think that the easiest thing to do is to go to our website. So it's www.brookline adult ed, and it's all one word, Brookline adult ed .org, I'm sorry, brooklineadulted.org. And you can browse through the catalog. There's a PDF of the catalog there that you can look from screen to screen, or you can look by category. So I always recommend to my friends and family to go to the drop-down menu and look at adult classes and do the search. And then you can just type in whatever you want. So you could type in, say, Spanish or Russian or Japanese for languages, and see what classes are offered in that area. And then all you really need to do is, once you determine the class that you're interested in, then you select it, and then there's a registration button. You click on that. You'll create an account if you don't already have one with us. If you do have an account with us, you'll want to make sure you know your username and your password. And then you just go in and it walks you through the process and how to pay for it. And then as the date gets closer, we usually send out a reminder notice to people about the class. We send the rosters out to the instructors, and then things just kind of run on their own from there. But we're here to help people if they want to call in. We can register them by phone as well.
Is there any question that I should have asked you that I didn't ask you, or anything else that you want the public to know?
Well, I think you've asked some really great questions. I think the public needs to understand that we are part of the public schools, that we are a nonprofit, entity, and that we really, in order to sustain the program, which is, goes back to 1832. We really do need people to help support us and take the classes that we offer. So if anything that people can do to get the word out to their friends and, you know, come out, join a class, we offer walking tours when the weather's nice. It's great to get outside and, have a guide take you through something really interesting that maybe you didn't know about the community. We offer tours in Brookline. We offer tours in surrounding communities in Boston. We have one this weekend running at Boston Public Garden, a walk through time it's called. I think that's going to be fantastic. All kinds of great things. We offer a little something to everybody. There has to be something there that you would be interested in. And if there isn't and you have a suggestion, we're all ears.
If you're still alive, you still should be learning.
Exactly.
And, thank you so much for being on the show. For all of you out there, we're going to put on the screen brooklineadulted.org and how to register for a class, and also donate, help out, maybe sign up for a class and then pay a little extra to donate if you can afford it. And you have the means to help. Brookline Adult Ed really helps so many people in the community, especially our young people and our senior citizens. They're so important. Thank you for being on the show, and can't wait to meet you in person someday.
That would be great. Thank you so much for your time and your support. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Hi, my name is Danielle Myers of ADW Video Productions and BrooklineHub.com. BrooklineHub.com is a 501c3 nonprofit online publication dedicated to community building through local reporting and events. Brookline Facing Civil Rights was produced by our founder, Harvey Bravman. The film is about the experiences of African Americans who helped break the wall of segregation that existed in Brookline before the civil rights laws were passed in the 1960s. Last year, the film sold out the Coolidge Corner Theater and included a panel discussion on inclusivity. You can stream the film and the discussion on BrooklineHub.com in exchange for a donation to the Brookline Community Foundation's Safety Net Fund. You can also stream Soul Witness, a film that features interviews with Brookline Holocaust survivors conducted 30 years ago, on soulwitness.org. For the last 11 years, Harvey has been interviewing outstanding teens as part of an event held at the Coolidge called the Brookline Youth Awards. The Brookline Youth Awards are an opportunity for Brookline residents to hear about the character, challenges, and dreams of its young people, as well as adults dedicated to their success through the power and intimacy of video interviews.